Distinguished viewers, welcome to yet another video of life sharing experiences. 2.5 decades in the industry. What have I got to share? Well, a lot. Are you okay? So today we are going to look at the first class medical exam. Trust me, I'm going to use my case as an example. If I had just followed normal talk, popular opinion, popular perception about people outside the industry, I wouldn't have been a pilot. Because in our time, everybody says, if you want to be a pilot, man, you have to have good eyesight. Don't eat Gary. Then I'm like, okay, that's it. For me, if I had listened to those kind of opinions, case closed for me. Because trust me, ever since I went to Form 1, till now that you and I are speaking, over 3.5 decades, Gary is my companion. Gary is my passion. A present help in time of trouble. Trust me, I would have been the first person to back out of this profession. Are you okay? You hear all sorts of things. All sorts of things. You know, don't be this, don't be that, don't be this, don't be that. But the question is not that opinion that assesses pilots for their profession or other professions that need, other aviation professions that need aviation medical screening. Are you okay? Medical screening is medical screening for everybody. But I'll just walk you through what the pilot goes through. Are you okay? And maybe some reasons if time permits. Are you okay? I have a separate video too for that. So let's start off with the pilot himself. If he's 19, I'm talking of start, right from the start. If he's 19 or 20 and he's about to start the industry, first thing that you go when you see an aviation medical examiner, what the first point is aviation medical examiner. No other doctor can perform this check if he or she does not have a diploma in aviation medicine in addition to what he studied. Every doctor will have to have an extra training in what we call aviation medicine. That stipulates the standards of aircrew in every parameter of the medical check. For the medical check, there's nothing special. It's just like the normal lab checks that you go anywhere. It's just a normal thing. But the thing is, interpretation of results and what are the pilot standards. That's why your medical examiner needs to have special training in aviation medicine. So we'll start it from the beginning. You see your medical aviation examiner, you fill some forms here and there, just like any other screening exam. Then first thing is the BMI, the body mass index test, because what we don't know or what we tend to forget is that we like judging people like, hey, you are fat, hey, you are slim, hey, you are this, just by looking at the person. But in the real way to measure whether somebody is overweight, underweight, normal weight is what we call the body mass index test. Basically, it's the way you stand on the scale, your weight is taken in kilograms. Then your height is measured in meters. And there's a formula, which I'll not go into now, but there's a formula which, when done, let's put it this way, when done, brings out an index. If that index is under 19, you are underweight. It has its implications, okay? If that index is between 19 and 24, you are normal weight, okay? And that's where you have to stay all the days of your life, even if you still don't want to, or if you don't even want to practice aviation. Then if that index is 25 to 29, then you are overweight. So you know it's the overweight index that you can use to tell somebody that he's overweight. So it's not that you can see a slim person and he's overweight. It's nothing new. Are you okay? Then anywhere from 30 and above, we say you are obese. In this part of our world, we have a name for it called obolo. Are you okay? But in other people, I'm sure other people have their terminologies. So the first thing is the body mass index, and you have to stay within the second one I mentioned, 19 to 24. In most jurisdictions, if you want to be an airline pilot and you are young, under the age of 20, and you go in for your first medical exam and you are not within 19 to 24, are you okay? You'll be grounded immediately. But I'm not scaring you, you'll be grounded. There are other things on other videos I'm coming up with called how to stay in the greens. That's how to stay in the normal ranges with your lab reports. We'll talk more about how to stay between 19 and 24, okay, with the assistant of a medical expert. Okay. After the body mass index, the screening now starts from anywhere from your hair to your toenail and everything in between. We have a scan that can test your brain activity, what's really going on in the brain, and all these neurologists and neurosurgeons can interpret it, you know, to the aviation medical examiner. And obviously your eyesight, we're looking for distant vision, we're looking for off-center vision. Off-center vision is like I'm looking this way and somebody is doing this, either to my left or the right or both. I should be able to know which fingers or how many fingers is he using to make fun of me or something. We call it the off-center vision, that you are not looking, or peripheral vision. Okay, so you'll be checked for vision sight, you'll be checked for peripheral vision, you'll be checked for color blindness, you'll be checked for things like the eye pressures, and other eye disease like glaucoma and all these things. They have ways of knowing. So that's for the eye section. The audio section too, same thing. You should be able to hear to a certain lower decibel. You know, decibel is the unit of measuring of sound. Are you okay? And it will all start off, maybe you can even start off with playing a violin key. So you hear something like, and it will either be on your left ear, I mean, you'll be on a headset, so it's either on your left ear or your right ear. So if you hear that sound, you raise, if it's the left ear that you heard it on, you raise the left hand. If it's the right one, you raise the right hand. The second time, they will lower it. So you hear like, then if you hear it in either ear, lift that hand up. They keep lowering it to a certain level. All this time that you are raising your hand, they are plotting graphs. Just plotting the graphs, and there's a certain level that you are not supposed to go below. She'll do that one, then later she'll just check one ear, then she'll scan through to see, you know, your inner ear, what's happening in the Eustachian tube and everything, because audiogram is not only about the sound perception, it's also about your balance. And the way to check your proper balancing is through what we call the Eustachian tube, a certain gray area in between your two ears, you know, that can detect your balance situation and everything. They have a ways of looking at it. Okay, so that will be for the audiogram. You come to the heart, they have what you call ECG, electrocardiogram, just the rhythm of your heart. And there are certain tolerances. That's why I said we need an aviation medical examiner to interpret what tolerance is okay for air crew. This is not to say that the other doctors don't know. The other doctors know, but the thing is, what is good or not good for an air crew is only the aviation medical examiner who can determine that. So your ECG will be taken, so many things happen in your heart, you know, the rhythm, you know, and everything. It will be taken. Then from the ECG, you go to your other body organs like your liver and your liver, your kidneys, you know, things like that, your intestines. They have ways of knowing and the limits that it's supposed to be. And the blood itself, when you do what you call a full blood count, that means you are going for a full-blown laboratory result. And like I said, the difference here is that the standards are only for the aviation medical examiners to interpret. Okay, so after all these things are done, like I said, your body mass index, then from your eyes, we started from the eyes, the brain itself, the ENT, that's your ear, nose, and throat. And then you come back to your heart and everything, then your liver, your kidneys, all these things, your lab results, like just like how you go for any lab result. But the only difference here is that the one who is interpreting it has got an extra training in what we call diploma in aviation medicine. So he or she knows the standards that are good for crew and which are not good for crew. After all these parameters are sent to the aviation medical examiner, then you do a little bit of physics. He will now do what you call the physical test. So there he has ways he can check your reflexes. You see him raise your hand here. He'll take something like a gavel, you know, a medical gavel, hit you about 1 or twice, 1, 2. It's not like he's going to break your elbow by just 1, 2. He knows what he wants to see in terms of your reflexes. He just does an overall body check to see whether there are no scars in one point, or there are no boils, or there are no swollen things in one side and everything. He does your examination on his bed. Are you okay? And if you are good to go, there's a certain form that he fills. After that form is filled, you get your certificate. The medicals are in classes. We have the class 1 medical examiner, the exam that is the highest standard of the aviation medical exam for pilots, for engineers, and everything. And that one you have to keep renewing it every year. That's if you are under 40. Renewing of that medical exam is every year. And if you are over 40, like some of us, then it is twice every year that you need to renew. It's the highest grade of exams. Are you okay? We have class 2 medical exams, which I will explain later in other videos. This is also the same procedure, but the standards are a little bit relaxed in quotes. I'm just saying it in quotes. The standards are a little bit relaxed. So basically, with the aviation medical exam, we start off with the BMI, your body mass index. We want to check whether you are underweight, normal weight, overweight, or obese. All these grades have implications for your overall fitness. And that's even the first indication that your medical examiner will get to know whether you are fit overall or not. Okay? After that, like I said, your brain scan, your eyes, your ENT, your heart, your liver, kidneys, and all other biochemistries down there. And later, the doctor will take all these results and interpret it first before he or she will give you what you call the physical exam. For that one, you lie on his bed or in his office or her office, and he or she will take you through just a physical exam. Your elbows, how you move it around, you breathe in, breathe out, you do all sorts of funny things, and they know what they use all these parameters for. We call them the internal parameters. They know what they use it for. After that, you'll be issued with your certificate. Then they take your results to civil aviation of your country. We'll talk more about the civil aviation. Those of you, the aero teams, we are doing something about air transport. We'll talk something about civil aviation. So in the civil aviation, we have what we call a medical assessor. So the medical assessor is going to assess the results of your medical examiner, so that if there's any lapses, he will first of all halt you. He will first of all halt the medical examiner and say, hey, hold on. Look, I don't like the way this guy's heart rhythm was and things like that. Tell him to do maybe a stress test. Oh, I didn't like the way the audiograms, it fell below this decibel. He may need to take it again every 3 months. So medical examiner takes all these parameters, the whole results, and gives it to a medical assessor. It's a medical assessor who is also a doctor or an aviation doctor with so much experience, okay, who is going to now look at the exam, and if he or she is okay, all they just do is instruct the civil aviation to issue your license or issue your renewal. Unfortunately, this our career is about dealing with lives, and if you are not a fit person, trust me, put yourself in the position of a passenger. Would you like to be flown with a half-sick, air crew, or a fully, unfit air crew? Would you like it or not? So that's the same thing that we are all thinking. First class medical exam, these are the parameters. I hope to see you on other videos. Thank you for being with us. Stick and stay with us, and tell a friend to tell another friend that more videos are coming.